Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Yeah, so we got Thrawn here and Infinite Monkey. How are you guys doing? And as Infinite Monkey says there, it's actually 9 AM in the USA, so I hope you guys enjoy this. It's like gonna be one of the first times this has actually been Eurocentric. But yeah, the reason why I'm doing this a little bit earlier today than I normally would do otherwise is, well, I wanted to get the turn done. As I've got something on later on, so I thought, well, why wait till tomorrow when I could get it done today? So we're going to be doing that. Now, I'm actually glad that a couple of you guys are here now. So, there's some interesting opinions I always get from you guys. Now, I've actually been considering here. So, the shock attack over at Clark went fairly well for all that could be expected. Hello there, Rez. Good morning. Sup there, Commissar Roach. Good morning to you as well. Well, afternoon for you in Europe. Unfortunately, wish some of us weren't, but oh well. Shut there, Hugh. How you doing there, my friend? Okay. So, we did have the Ki-21 Sallies over here. Apparently, the Ki-27s decided they were not going to escort that, which does make me worry slightly. So, it might be worth having them transfer to that command, perhaps, or even moving the bombers. But it's not entirely essential. It is helpful, but it's not entirely essential. Now, they didn't cause much in the way of casualties, but of course it's going to come down to obviously the disruption and fatigue that they can hopefully pile on the enemy forces there. What I'm most interested in, really, is, let's see, it's further down. I'm glad that we got supposedly hit on S-27, that's quite nice. Right, here we go. So the shock attack went fairly well for all that could be expected, to be honest. So the fortifications have been reduced again. But this is the biggest deal over here, is the fact that the defenders at Clark are really lacking on supply now. That's a big deal there. And to be honest, we did see quite a few of our squads disabled, so we do have to bear that in mind, but we can't just keep attacking here consistently. Yes, I've seen the coordination guide. I think it's due to the fact that they're probably under a different command, more than likely. So it seems that we could probably do with having the Ki-27s reassigned, and probably would help out. They are at the same altitude, though. I do have to double check that they are at the same altitude. I think it's one of these. Do we, yeah, as Cal points out there, welcome Cal, by the way, do we go for a lower altitude? Possibly, but it's one of these things of when I don't have Ki-21s in really huge numbers, so is it potentially worthwhile? We'll see. Hello there, Bolin. How you doing there, my friend? Thank you there to Bolin as well. He did produce a fantastic comment on one of the early videos, really explaining how it works with movement in the different naval phases, so thank you there. Welcome. But yeah, okay. So, we did have the shock work in our favour over here. Had we had some fresh forces in sufficient numbers, it could have been worthwhile to go for another one, but obviously we do not have that. So, what my consideration is now is, at the moment... Hello there, Talon. So, at the moment... Oh, no, the headquarters, I should say, not the actual squadron commander. And by the way, is there any way to force attacks to happen in the AM phase of the day? Ooh. That's an interesting question, really. I'm not entirely sure. In terms of land combat, I don't know if it takes place in the... I suppose if you have... land combat, I suppose it could take place in the morning if it's like a landing. Hello there, Chainsaw Joe. Yeah, it is earlier, isn't it? Definitely is. Can I make a suggestion that we use more subs at the go? It seems like his supply chain for the South Pacific. I don't know about it being his supply chain for the South Pacific. I think it's one of the important bases there, but I think we do need to look after Savai at the moment. He has been running consistent reconnaissance over that. He knows really what is there, roughly. So it leads me to think that he's probably looking towards possibly some sort of amphibious landing there, perhaps. As otherwise, there's nothing to be really gained there. Yeah. Not too bad there, Chainsaw Joe. Not too bad at all, my friend. How about you? Okay. So what I'm thinking here is, perhaps, do we look at leaving the divisions on defense? Now, what I want to know, really, is a question that is on my mind here at the moment. If I go into bombardment, if there's a counterattack, are we going to be... affected terribly much by that? I'd say probably not be the best idea. So what I'm kind of thinking here is maybe leave the 33rd and the 16th Well, then again, I could leave the 16th on defensive. I could have the 33rd and the 4th Division actually bombard as well. I'm just thinking, is it worthwhile using the guns that we have here? Because we have 343 guns. We can bombard the enemy. Now, is that going to allow our fatigue and disruption to recover? I believe it should do. See, these are the nuances of land warfare that I'm still yet to learn, really. You know, last night I was looking at production per month statistics of various fighters, aircraft on Wikipedia and related sites. While I said yesterday that zero production is okay, I rescind that. Yeah. I mean, this is it. We're only, I suppose, like a month into the war. Yeah, just over a month into the war at this moment in time. Now, we are going to be upping the amount of zeros we are producing. Ultimately, we're going to be aiming for about 100 A6M2 zeros per month, which doesn't sound like a huge deal, but that's because that's the A6M2 zero model. We'll obviously be upgrading from that in the future, and obviously we'll have different models of aircraft available as well. But I need the additional armor and artillery to come here. They're not too far away. We should, I mean, ultimately what I need here is the engineers. These two engineer regiments are going to be extraordinarily important. Very handy. Especially Bataan. Hello there, Anno. How you doing there, my friend? Yep. The good news is that some of these engineers will arrive next turn, which is fantastic, actually. So they're going to be bringing quite a lot of support alongside them, which is going to be very, very nice. The good news is really it's just going to be able to demolish their fortifications, which is always a good thing here. Did you notice on his... yeah, he had changed it. He'd changed last turn from the movement. Well, he was in movement last turn. He's now in combat this turn, as far as I can tell. So it's interesting, really. It is an interesting one. I suppose it's a difficult one in his shoes, really, because the fact is, as we've seen this turn, he doesn't have the supply here, and he'll know that. So it leads him onto this sort of difficult situation of where does he pull back and potentially risk a rout and further losses, or does he stay in place and really just risk annihilation for the most part? Obviously, he would be forced to retreat, but the thing is, it's like when he doesn't have the supplies, his troops are going to be fighting at significantly less effectiveness, well, significantly lower efficiency. He's also going to be suffering more, so it's really good for us, fantastic for us, to be honest. Good news for us. Now, I suppose this is it. I think if we go for the bombardment, at least we can keep on that pressure. I don't think we're going to see a counterattack. I don't think he'd be able to launch that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to leave this 16th Division on defense just in case, but I'm going to leave, well, I'm going to put everything else onto bombardment, I reckon. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so the tank's on defense anyhow, so I'll leave the 16th Division on defense. Then again, it is 123 guns, isn't it? We'll go with the bombardment. I reckon we could probably get away with that. For comparison's sake, the peak in, well, IRL wartime production of zeros was March 1944, with about 370 being made into factories in 1 month, and we know that was certainly not enough. Well, this is it. We are going to have different models of aircraft. We will have a lot of aircraft. We're going to be aiming ultimately for the Ki-84s. We should be working on... see, I think we should be able to start producing the A6M3s, but I'm not going to bother with that. What we're trying to do here then is really go for a research jump, an R&D jump really. So we're working on the A6M3s here at the moment. But what we're going to do is, well, as far as I'm concerned, I think what we'll probably end up doing here then is rather than producing the A6M3s, we'll start researching the A6M5. Really accelerate that. He's already pulled back. The battle was a win for you because he had more destroyed and you had more disabled. I'd rest Clark entirely. He will probably retreat to Bataan. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah, I suppose it will work out well for us either way. Yeah, okay. I can get behind that. Rest would be nice. Especially as we'll have the engineers here next turn as well. We'll do significantly better next turn anyhow. Some of these units are unpacking as well, which is quite good. Yeah, he's definitely pulling out of Bataan. He's definitely pulling out of Bataan. The thing is, it's like, well, he can't stay here. He's lacking supply. Now, I know, well, at least I suspect he's actually moved additional supply here to Bataan, which is rather intriguing. So we have very good detection over here at Clark, which is nice. Yeah. Okay, the fact he's in movement mode and switched back to combat mode means he's going slower, but he's already pulling out. Yeah, so it's just going to be a matter of time until it pulls out, as you say. So I have a question about CV conversions. Do you have to wait until historic dates to do so, or they not happen at all? Yeah, you're right there, Infinite, about the 14th Army over here. Now, I think they're actually on the rail lines. Yes, they are. Fantastic. Okay, so this is going to accelerate our speed real nicely. Though, is it worthwhile to actually move them via the rail lines when I could just march them? It might be worthwhile just to march them. Might take us actually longer to move them via the rail lines than it would to do... Yeah, to be fair, if I march it, it's like we could move via rail, but I could only move to Lingayen. I don't have control of Clark as of yet. But then again, it might be one of these things of where we begin loading strategically and he pulls out a Clark, but it's not certain. I'd rather deal with things as they come. So we'll march them, and if they arrive in Lingayen and this base has been taken, then we might look at possibly putting them on the rails. And I only need them to arrive in Lingayen, to be honest. Right, the canal detachment is now freed up and ready, which is good news. So they're on combat, put them on movement mode here, and we're going to have them join the battle at Clark. There we go. As you can see here, we are controlling all hexes here. I mean, the thing is, obviously, he's going to have the defenses of Bataan. See, I was considering here, we do have a 65th Brigade over here on Formosa. I'm considering actually bringing that over to Luzon, just to aid out there. They only have 33 guns, though. But it's a fair few infantry, and obviously the second line troops is always nice. Where's the 16th Army? Headquarters, I assume you're talking about? We'll take a look at that one in a moment. Should spare no expense, spend these production facilities as soon as possible. We're already expanding them. They're already underway. And let's go find the 16th Army then. So 16th is over here at Babaldoir. So we could look at actually having that moved out. Would be nice, as obviously they're not doing too terribly much over here. What units are under the command of the 16th Army? Oh, we're lucky. 16th. Yeah, they're kind of all over. Some at Kagoshima, some at Clark. It seems like, yeah, even some over here, like the 38th Division being assigned to the 16th, and then in Bloody Wuzhou. Some units over here at Midway, Zamboanga. Yeah, it's not great to have these guys assigned to the 16th Army, but there's not particularly much I can do about that. Just going to assemble them into one unit. Well, we'll have 2 groups of 3. That'd be nice. So, patrol group is... Yeah, patrol zone is Babaldoir. Works fine. We'll set up the other one. We'll use up AA units to the frontline islands. Yep, we're going to be looking at doing that. We were going to be doing that 2 or 3 days ago, but we decided to actually have them sent towards the oil facilities and refineries over here. The 14th Army is just over here, so one second, yeah. So the 14th Army is over here at San Fernando. So they'll be marching towards Lingayen. So they should ideally be close by to assist over here shortly. Should be quite good. Okay. Reaction on, yep. Have them patrol here at Babaldoir. Let's take a look at our level bombers then. The G4s over here. I think what I might do with these guys is have them just on naval search for the time being. I think I'd rather identify where the enemy is than, yeah. And this is it. It's nice just looking at this area over here, but there's not exactly anything here in terms of surface assets. So I'm going to have them run naval search on both squadrons here. There we go. Increase our knowledge of this area would be quite nice. We need to look at actual reconnaissance over certain islands as well. That's going to be required. Right. So I'm still currently unloading here. There's a lot of supply here. Though... Yeah, the 14th Army is moving to Clark as we speak. Yeah, okay, not a huge amount of supply here. What we'll do then is... What do we have over here at thoe? Hello there, Franz Ferdinand. How you doing there, my friend? It's not a bad airfield. Is there a better airfield over here at Mindanao? Size 2. Size 2 port there is quite nice. See, the issue with Bataan is obviously the mines and the coastal guns. It's not really going to be fun for us if we get close to that. I mean, there's something to be said about trying to get some, well, destroy minesweepers in that Bataan, but the thing is, it is what it is, isn't it? It's a really well-defended point here in the Philippines. I mean, it was designed as a fortress. Obviously not particularly carried out to be a fortress, but yeah, there is the element of a fortress there. Where's the 5th Fleet headquarters? Take a look. 5th Fleet. Let's have a look. 5th Fleet is over here at Ominato. Could look with could look at having these naval headquarters moved out to important bases, to be honest. Like, for example, one of these naval headquarters would be quite good in Manila once everything is cleaned up over here. And what will you do with the allied units north of Zamboanga? Well, see, this is one of the issues here. We have the 16th Regiment. Yeah, they don't have any roads here. It's not worth it chasing them down. What I might do is actually take one of these... I need a unit. I need maybe like an SLF unit just to move over here to Zamboanga. Which we could potentially do. I think I'll leave the Yokosuka or the Sasibo. One of these units over here for the time being. Yeah, 5th Fleet and your 7th Army are your big guys. That's good to know. Well, this is it. So we could definitely do with having one of them move down here, then potentially to the Philippines or elsewhere. See, I do have an air headquarters over here. We have the 5th Air Division over here. And I need to get these guys moved out. Need to have them moved elsewhere. They're not doing any good over here at Formosa. It would be nice to have them maybe established at one of these airfields down here. And we'll see. So we have our troops that are going to be unloading over here. Now, is it worthwhile to maybe just unload at one of these other bases over here? Maybe like Tacloban? How many men do I have here? 696 men. Okay, 7th Army combined with 14th or 25th Army. And LCU prep makes units attack with much higher sword value. That's good. C, there is Cebu over here. See, I don't really have any information on these islands, do I? I would have the 5th Fleet moved to Singapore once captured. That's a good alternative there. 5th Fleet is a command HQ, just like 7th Army HQ. Oh, right, okay. Well, that's good to know, then. Right, okay, that's cool. We'll have to have them moved out, then. Within 18 hexes. So, yeah, they would definitely be quite welcome down at Singapore, then I can imagine, in that Malayan area. Or as if they can actually contribute to the AV in that area, then. That's good to know. Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think what I'm going to do here, then, is... Then again, it's hard to say. Well, what we're going to do here, then, is do not unload. Just hold up here at this base for the time being, then. So do not unload. Remain on station. I'd like to run some reconnaissance quickly, if I can do so, just over Tacloban and maybe Bebe. At least then I can sort of get an idea of what's going on in the area. Question is going to be like, where the hell can I find that? I could potentially use the G401s for that sort of task. Yeah, it might be worthwhile. In fairness, I might be better off using the G401s to run reconnaissance over all the different bases around the Philippines. Which I think we might do. Right. What I'm going to do then is just set them up at 10,000 feet. So just have everybody set up like this for the time being. Okay. Then what we're going to do is obviously change this. Well. Does that put everybody on the same one here? Yep. Okay, good. Okie dokie. Let's run some reconnaissance over these islands. There we go. Oh, so an army has Malaya covered. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. I suppose I need to actually look where Southern Army is, to be fair. Cebu, definitely. And then the last one. Over... We'll look at, over here, then. Yeah. So we'll just hold off for the time being with that unit. It might be just worthwhile just unload it. We'll tell them to unload it just in case. I'd rather it not be lost at sea, which would be rather awkward. So tell them just to unload there. That works for me. Okay. I'll set that home porter here as well. Okay. No, that's good to know. Thank you for pointing that out there, Infinite. It's one of these things of, I actually do not know where Southern Army is at the moment in time without checking. But we're going to be running out of reconnaissance here, that's good. Right, what I'm going to do here then is, one unit is going to be left behind to actually take control of this base, the other one is going to be loaded up. So just cancel unload, and I don't need to unload there. See, this is one of the things, I have a lot of supply on board here, and not much in the way of protection, so it's kind of awkward. But I'm going to load one of the other units then. So... Okay, the Sasebo is going to be moved. Yep, get moving them ASAP. Then if I load, set the load, there we go. Well, in fact... No, I'll leave it as it is, that's fine. Okay. So do we have combined fleet here of an army? Okay, combined fleet is actually not prepared. Oh, it's in Saigon, okay. Right, I'm gonna have combined fleet begin to prep for Noumea then. Okay. Hard to say which I wanted to prepare for the time being. What I'm going to do then is try to have it made ready to move then. So what we'll do here then is have 5th Fleet actually transferred down to, I'd say, Osaka. We'll have plenty of actual capacity over there. Start prepping that to be moved. Okay. Actually, some really nice tankers here, to be honest. I don't know why I've got them out, so I'm going to expand them. Yeah, we were not going to move anything without it having, like, ample coverage. At least that's the plan. Okay, so how are the Destroy Minesweepers doing? Sorry, not the Destroy Minesweepers doing, the APDs doing. Hello there, Billy. I hate to ask this, what C's means? Do you mean size? Or sorry, just I'd love to answer the question, just I need a little bit of clarification on that one. Okay. Right. Yeah, it's not going to be long here, but in a couple... 2 days we should have a plethora of patrol boats. Yep, Akikazi, so the Minakazi APDs are going to be ready tomorrow. That's great news. Combined fleets on our command headquarters and naval headquarters does not have the same effect. Okay, only the 5th fleet. So should we have the 5th fleet begin planning for Noumea then? Or is that actually going to be a worthwhile endeavour? Yeah, size, okay. So size of squadrons indicates like how many aircraft, well, active aircraft you can have in that squadron. You can obviously have reserves in there. But as far as I know, size is just like how many you can have is just like active. So obviously if you've got a size 20 squadron, you can have 20 planes active, as I can understand. I don't know whether that includes reserves. This is stuff that we need to just like learn as we go on, really. Okay. I'll have the 5th fleet planned for Noumea then if that is actually going to be worthwhile. I suppose this is where the actual battle that needs to be one is going to be taking place, so we'll have them planned for Noumea. I'll leave them here then for the time... Well, no, actually, we'll continue to move on towards Osaka. Could do with actually having them shifted out elsewhere then. Okay. So, let's see. Osaka. Do I have any patrol boats ready as of yet? Seems not as yet, but they'll be ready shortly. Looking forward to that. Oh, right, okay, that's good to know. So by type, yep. Ah. They also say command HQ after the unit naming. Okay. Might as well while they're over here at truck. Okay. So these forces are moving down, that's good. 14th Army will be there shortly, these engineers are over here. Elements of the 33rd Division moving up. That's going to take a little while, but when they do arrive at least that's going to be an extra 41 guns. And obviously the amount of support. Okay, these units are here and ready to move then. So what do we have here then? I do have 2 troop transports then. That's good to know. We're going to need those. So what we're going to do here then is bring them back into Apari. So return. There we go. Yep, I'd like to move these units out. So what actually do we have here then? Construction, yep, these guys are awesome. As a good few engineers there. Engineer vehicles do help out too. And again, is it worth it to leave behind one unit so we can continue? Yeah, I'll leave behind the 56 construction, the 3rd engineer, and the 9th field construction battalion can be moved out as well. Oh yeah, don't worry there, Billy. Oh, the no resize, okay. We'll go over that one in just a moment. Right, so what we're going to do here then, form up. Phibius is always good. Also, we're going to need escorts. Right. Load these 2 units here. Leave behind the 56. Load troops only. Yep, set load, there we go. At least this will be able to move out quite quickly. So, what do we have here then as escorts? The sub-chasers should be able to do fairly well. Also, if we could find something else. That's moving out, that's good. Yep. If needs be, we'll refuel them somewhere along the way, or obviously have them refuel from the actual transport there. Okay. We definitely need more of these aircraft. Why has that failed? And the turn before, did it not have enough supply, perhaps? I'm going to put that down to most likely in the turn before not having the supply. So I've got the 12th Air Flotilla over here that I need to get moved out as well. Plenty of units that just need to be moved out. Also, these are way too expensive to move. At least we do have 206 political points at the moment. I do find that a little bit concerning. But ideally that situation should be sorted next turn. 34th Division, still making progress. Eventually they'll make it out, then we can have them rest over here at Hankow for quite a while, but at least they'll be able to rest. We should be at Loyang 2 days' time, a day or two, really at most. I'd imagine not worthwhile bringing VAA. I don't have a huge amount of AA anyhow, so that's not much of an issue. But what I'd like to do is actually have this set up as... Well, actually, no, it's not a particularly amazing airbase, is it? I started a campaign as the Allies on December 7th, 1941, and what I couldn't believe what happened. Both Repulse and Prince of Wales survived. Well, to be fair, I ended up fucking up on my first turn here and allowed that to happen. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's like they do have a good chance of surviving, really. It obviously is a lot of dice rolls as well, to be honest. But if you do move them away, then yeah, they've got a pretty good chance of surviving. At least a chance of surviving. Thank you very much there to Infinite for answering that question. I was about to get into that one, but that well, sums up nicely. More bombing over China. See... It is a little bit close. We do have some escorts in there, which does help out.
Right, you're supplying Wuxia. We're going to tell them to stand down. Just have them trained instead. If anything, what's the range of these bad boys? 4. Okay. When will you attack Wenchao again? Go over that in just a moment. Right. That's good to know. Okay. Well, let's take a look at these units over here. Yep. They look to be alright to go ahead and attack again. I think I'm going to replace this commander with a slightly better one if that is going to help us out. But I actually have a really good commander here. That's impressive. But I'd like to have them save for elsewhere, actually. To be honest, I might have them actually take command of the Clark divisions. That could be very good. Or we could have them take command elsewhere. Okay, they are pretty good already, to be fair. Might be worthwhile to have them command the regiments down here at Luganville. Obviously, they'll be making landfall over here in Numea. Now, I need additional reconnaissance assets. I'm glad that armor is on its way. As we hope. So you are detected. That looks to be a magic intercept. What's the range here? 10 hexes. 7 hexes. I'm going to put in a waypoint here. Just a little bit further away from Rabal. I suppose the thing is like, is it likely that we're going to come into attack? Possibly not, but I'd rather maintain a little bit more range. Should you do anything with the Soviets while they're not in war yet? I'll just... Oh, good God, we do not want to attack the Soviets. Good God, no. Good God, no. Let that sleeping giant lie. Yeah, the Germans had their chance and they blew it, so yeah, that's their problem, not ours. Okay. Right, so you're going to be pulling off a shock attack over here. Is it perhaps worthwhile to pull off a shock attack? Ooh, I'm going to say... Don't have a huge amount of supply here. I'm going to say just deliberate attack, actually, to be honest. We could probably do a shock attack, but I'd rather keep these units fairly usable just for the short term. Right, 15th Army over here. See, I have both these headquarters here. I could do with moving them out. We do have the headquarters of the 25th Army here as well. It would be nice to have additional headquarters, to be fair. As well as we could have them elsewhere. Right, let's see. I need to get some transport aircraft over here, but I'm going to wait a little bit on that one. As the allied player, should you move troops around or anything. What you're going to do here, then, Billy, is basically approach this as a day-by-day basis. Like, look at... where you think the Japanese are heading, look at the forces that you have available, and just look at the actual worthiness of that target, really. It's one of these, really. Let's say, for example, the Philippines. And the Philippines is ultimately doomed. You could try to make it as difficult for the Japanese as possible, but the Japanese are ultimately going to say, well, going to control the Philippines. There's not much you can do about that. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and let's look at Manila for example. No, we'll look at Bataan. So, Bataan over here. Obviously, a hardened base over here is going to be difficult for the Japanese to take. So the question comes down to, do I send additional reinforcements there? I would say no, because ultimately it doesn't matter how many men you can send there. You're not going to be able to kick the Japanese out of the Philippines once they land. So it's a case of, right, okay, if I'm not going to send men to Bataan, where do I send men to that are going to be able to make a stand? Well, you could potentially make a stand over here at Singapore, but even then Singapore eventually will fall.
So you're better off making stands in like Java, Sumatra, those sort of areas. Areas basically where the Japanese are going to have to land. See, the issue is, it's like with these objectives over here, such as Singapore. Ultimately, we do have a land connection to Singapore, so we could bring up troops as required, while obviously the Allies can't. It's one of these things. It's just, you've got to identify objectives and really just assess whether they're worthwhile. What do I have in the area? How much is it going to cost me to get it there? Is it worthwhile having it there? Where else could it be used? Just lots of little questions that you've got to ask yourself and just figure things out. Like I had somebody actually comment, I think it was on a video last time. Basically, like this group's moving east, like, and I completely forgot to mention that. But the reason why I'm deploying my submarines as they are is I expect them to be moving down over here. But we do have our submarine over here to cover that, and we do have another submarine that is going to be heading to this area over here. I don't imagine he's going to be moving out too far. I mean, I suppose this is it. Where could he be moving to? It's hard to say, but I do figure he's going to be moving towards Java. I think those ships are from Balikpapan. Hard to say, though, because I actually do not know where they're from exactly, but I'm going to figure they're from Balikpapan. Possibly at least. I still think they're going to be moving down here. Wouldn't it be best to send as many men into Bataan as possible to take them out as fast as possible? Then when Bataan is liquidated, they can be repurposed elsewhere. Oh, I was talking from the Allied point of view. Obviously, we are going to be taking Bataan. Like, we don't really have a choice on that one. I mean, yeah, as Major's saying there, it's one of these things where we could potentially leave it there. But, I mean, ultimately, I'd like to deal with it if we can. We'll see. We can always decide and see what state our men are in after Clark. Yeah, that's true. There's Singapore Express is over here. They did obviously sing Penguin. And once the Allies are in Bataan, it's just waiting for them to starve out and other fronts need the troops more. Yeah. Well, we can take a look at that one, decide as we go then, really. It's a good point there. Okay. So, I've been thinking about what I want to do with the Singapore Express, and I don't know. I mean, in half a mind to have them sent down here to the Coral Sea to actually support operations, perhaps. It would actually alleviate some of the pressure on Kitabutai, as at least I'd have additional carrier coverage. But then again, we do need the carriers over here of the Dutch East Indies. It's all well and good sending the carriers out that way, but they're not going to be able to do as much good as they can over here in this time. So we are going to have to use them to really suppress bases. We're aware of the the fighters over here. So we need to figure this one out. Okay. How we're looking on terms of, yeah, sorties remaining ain't exactly great, no torpedoes. Zuiho, how's she doing? Zuiho does have torpedoes and does have some sorties remaining, but I think we'd like to go and rearm. Though, what I think I might do is actually move to the north, somewhat to the north over this way, or potentially over this way, but I'd say over this way towards the Philippine Sea, so we could try and hit the ships around this area. I'd like to do some reconnaissance, to be fair. But I'd like to have them rearmed at Babal Dwarp, at least the carriers rearmed. We're going to have a deliberate attack at Wenchao. Okay. But what I'm going to do then is have them patrol to the north over here. Okay. Though I'm going to move into the... Actually, no, I don't want to be in deep ocean, so I want to be on the coastline here. Okay. We still need to leave divisions of troops to babysit Bataan out. Yeah, we could leave behind a division and potentially some additional forces there. But obviously it is, as people are saying there, worthwhile to have additional troops out. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, really. I think we'll see how well we do at Bataan and just go from there on that one. It's one of these things of, like, there's lots of different options here. And we'll go with what is best at that time. Another thing, actually, that I've thought about is... okay. We do have a decent amount of submarines, so what I'm going to do over here, then, is actually look towards... set up a blockade that's not as dangerous. What I'm going to do, though, is... I realise I don't have anything actually by Midway, so we're going to send a submarine over to Midway. Like, I don't actually have anything there, so that is also a possibility for the carriers to return to on their way back and raid, so we need to try and cover that area. I'm going to try and just put 3 submarines outside of Johnston, have them patrol there, and then if something comes out, at least they do have a chance to actually try and intercept it. That, and I suppose we don't want to be risking too much, do we? Yeah, obviously on your way back. I'll have you patrol here to the south. There we go. Obviously, you're going to have to be refueled soon. What I'm going to do here, then, is 23 knots. That's very good. I don't know, is it? Hard to say, but I'm going to have this one moved north. I'll just say to about there, actually. Between there and the French frigate shoal. I want to try and cover another approach there. Right. In my opinion, it's better pay for it later, as the Allies on Luzon have a little beyond a lot of average ground units. Well, that's good to know. I mean, obviously, having, like, 2 divisions freed up would be fantastic, as obviously we could use those in, well, operations over here, definitely. Okay. And I'm going to be reforming the 5th Division here next turn. Well, ideally next turn, which is going to be awesome. Right. See, I need to get additional reconnaissance going here just so we know what we're dealing with. I'm going to run reconnaissance over Temlar as well. Right, we've been hitting Medan successfully for the last few turns here. It doesn't look like there's a whole bunch left over there, to be honest. So I think what we're going to do here, then, is actually just ground these operations for the time being. See, I could use them to support ground operations, to be honest. Right, escort over there. See, this is why I appreciate you here, Infinite. It's like, if you're actually making these findings, if you're actually doing the research into the game, this is all awesome stuff. That's also really, really handy for us to know about. Yeah, as Major says there, the more discussion on the forums, the better. Like, I'm not particularly liked on the forums. I'm sure a lot of people can figure out why. Yeah, there's a lot of people that aren't exactly happy. If you're not an expert, they don't want to know anything from you. Which, fair enough. Okay. I'm going to cancel the sweep over here. Okay, what we're going to do here, then, is... see, this is it. It's one of these things of where... okay. So, we're going to be sending Kidabutai to Australia, aren't we? Well, first, we're going to send Kidabutai to Tulagi to actually pick up the fuel there, as obviously we have something in the region of about 11 to 12,000 units of fuel. And obviously, we want the oilers to return back to truck, rather than going all the way down here. Now, before I do forget, though... Right. Just want to double check on this. Restricted HQs, for example, can the Dutch move troops from Java to Sarawak, or... I think originally it was intended that there would be, like, boundaries, such as like geographical boundaries, but if they can actually move there via like their own steam or transportation, I think they can. It depends really. It depends on whether they can be loaded or not. See, this is it. It's like I know it from, well, it's like I have experience from the Japanese point of view, but obviously I've never played as Allied, so it's hard to say really. Obviously Allied in a grand campaign, so it's hard to say on that front really. Okay, so I want to check out the ammunition level of Tatsuta actually. Ooh. Okay, so Tatsuta doesn't have a huge amount of ammunition, but to be honest, she's actually pretty good to go. That's good to know. We actually do have some mines over here as well. That's very good to know. Wow. That's pretty impressive there, Infinite. I mean, Infinite, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to know about this. So if you would like to take a look at it, feel free. Oh dear. Okay, what I'm going to do here then is detach Tatsuta. Kirigusa's going to have to go home and, well, she's going to have to go to truck to rearm more than likely. Right, so I'm going to detach Tatsuta. She does have a fair amount of munitions here remaining. She can go alongside the Fiji cover force quite nicely. Would be quite nice to have a little bit extra there. See you later, Infinite. Have a good one, my friend. Thank you very much. I'm sure it's going to be a good turn. We've had fairly good results here so far. So that's all well and good. Okay, Tatsuta's not too particularly keen on fuel here, but that should be enough. She's not going to be going too particularly far. Yeah, should be welcomed in here. It gives another light cruiser alongside Yubari. We do have a couple of destroyers, but it's good just to have forces to screen here. That's what we need. Okay. So... Which Grigsby's War should I buy? This one is the oldest one. Well, this one here, so One of the Pacific is honestly, in my opinion, the one with the greatest amount of just depth, to be honest. I'd say One of the Pacific, then One of the East, then One of the West, to be honest. Will you bombard Noumea before you land troops there? Yep, we'll do that. I've hard pilot train time, cast the shoes as the IGN fanboys lose their minds. Yeah, exactly, you're right there, Major. It's one of those, like, mic drop moments, isn't it? Okay. What I'm going to do over here, actually, is I'm going to send the Fiji cover force to the Bellap Islands. They're going to remain... They're going to be there for about a day or two. I want them in position to cover our forces over here, just in case the enemy does decide to launch something over here. I don't think he will, but I'd rather be prepared if he does. See, I've got my float planes over here at Luganville. Yeah, you're right there, Res. So what I'm going to do is have the Fiji cover force over here at Bellap Island. See, what I'm going to consider doing here then, I'm actually going to get it set up now. So let's take a look then. So... yeah, I'm going to have the Kiyokawa. She's going to be moved. Though I do have, let's see... Yep, this unit is going to be moving out. So they're moving to Comac as we speak. So what I'm going to do then is actually have... well, then again, they'd move out slower with them. I'd rather have it move out with a little bit more speed. Issue is it's trying to find like an actual escort. I think I do have a spare destroyer over here. I'm going to have to get some fuel down this way, definitely. We are going to bleed it from the transports ultimately in the short term, but I obviously do need additional fuel down here. Though we have refueled the Fiji cover, well, Fiji cover 4, so at least that is a little bit of additional fuel there. Obviously, yeah, that's going to keep them going for a while. Right, okay, so... support, I suppose. Yep. Yeah, okay, so we have Mokizuki. She's over here at Luganville. She has a fair amount of endurance, and she'll be perfect to escort the Kiyokawa Maru. There we go. I don't believe you actually have anything aboard here. You do not. Either way. Right. Low threat threshold, direct.
I'm going to have you head over here to Bellop Island. Yep, it's yeah, it actually is earlier than normal. I think a lot of people are losing their minds, aren't they? Usually it's 1 to 2 a.m. here. It's only 11 p.m. Ah, that's awesome, Ben. See, this is it. It's like trying to find the best time. The Kiki cover force. I think I was actually merging the words there. Okay, so I'm going to tell them to head over here to Bellop Island. Does the Kiyokawa Maru have supply? She doesn't really have supply here. Okay. Could I have that? Then again, we don't really have supply. Be fine, be fine. We could get that supply transported over there by the air. She's going to head over here to Bellop Island, and then she can obviously head into Comac. But I'd like to get some naval search set up over here. Now, the issue is obviously I'm a bit low here on squadrons available. But what I'm going to do here then is... plenty of peats, don't get me wrong, we have shitloads of peats. Could really do additional ones here. Hello there, Paul. How you doing there, my friend? Right. Okay. Not be too long until we have additional engineers here. Okay, we actually do have another 2 oilers that are ready to go. The Toho Maru is actually really good. She's pretty damn fast. I'm going to have the Toho Maru dispatch then. So we do have some supply here. Well, sorry, destroyers over here. What else do I have at truck? Not huge amounts. What I'm going to do then is have the Toho Maru actually folded in with that force there then. Once we get out of the area then we can obviously have it potentially split off, but yeah, it's good to have additional oilers moving into the area. It's not a huge amount of escort, but at least it's some. Alright. I'm going to tell these guys to return to truck, actually. Actually, no, What I'm going to do here then is basically set up the patrols to be in something of a static position around truck, trying to surround truck with a few patrol boats. And obviously the interior being covered while the actual port itself being covered. Rather than going around at random junctions. Is it worth it to have your foe planes do any ASW or just stay on recon or naval search? Well, the thing is, it's like, unless they're any sort of good at that sort of stuff, it's probably not entirely worthwhile. If you have them on naval search, obviously if they can detect the submarines, that's going to give you probably a lot more. You're not really going to be able to damage them more than likely unless the ASW is pretty good. Do you plan to convert some of the Megami-class heavy cruisers to the CA, so the heavy cruiser seaplane carrier? See, I'd like to do that. I think it'd be worthwhile. I know it's like we lose out on the surface warfare capability of said cruisers, but at the end of the day, I think it's one of these things of where I could probably get a lot more utility out of the float planes than I could out the heavy cruisers' guns, to be fair. That's what I think would be quite nice. So I'd like to do that. Okay, you're kind of my Zuru.
At least we do have another 3 destroyers over here, that'd be quite good. Destroy 10 to 2. That'd be good. Awesome. There we go, heading into the disband. Right, I'm gonna have you transfer to truck. I could do with moving some of these units out of here. See, I do have the Chichijima Special Base Force, so I think what I'm going to do here is once these units are over here, well, the AMCs, which are here, yep, okay. I might have the Koku Maru dispatched back to Chichijima to pick up the rest of the Special Base Force. I'd like to pick up the rest of the 24th Infantry Division at some point. Well, regiment, I should say. So we'll have them unload over here at truck, then at least those troops can rest. And then we can figure out what we're going to do with the AMCs afterwards. Alright, so they continue on to Luganville. Really need that 21st Air Flotilla there. At least there's plenty of actual supplies here. Okay. Right, Katori's over here. What we're going to do then is actually load up this unit. Load them back up. But if I load, yep, there we go. When you're done, I want you to actually head in here to Comac. Well, we have elements of Chichijima Special Base Force over there. We obviously would like to go and pick up this. I mean, that unit there, the Fortress is static, the Special Base Force isn't, so I'd like to go and pick up the rest of it. But at least we'd have it in one unit. I reckon 2 MCs could probably have that moved around. These guys unloading over here. It's fine. Just tell them to disband when they're done, really. Ah, okay, so we do have Kiyosumi Marush is on the way to Chichijima now. Kiso, she's headed down here to Eniwatok to drop off some engineers. I'd like to do that, as at least then I can actually have some aircraft set up over here at Eniwatok. That, I don't want to just allow him to just drop something off, really. That's cool. I've been playing war games since the early 80s, and this one is the most in-depth I've ever played. Yeah, this is it. I mean, this is the thing. It's like, I'm learning myself. There's a lot of us who are still learning here together. And the best thing about this series is the fact that I get to play alongside you guys, and we get to all learn together, which is really nice. I think it just makes for an awesome experience. And this is why I say that this is not my series. It's, in fact, a collaborative series. And I've learned a lot. I've learned so very much since doing this. And I hope that a lot of you guys have as well. Just makes for a really awesome experience, to be honest. And it's going to be one of these that we're going to be going on for a long time, to be honest. Okay, so I've kind of been wondering over here at Comac. We have 19 disruptions still. Is it potentially worthwhile to perhaps launch some sort of bombardment? We do have 8 guns of the Indians. We do technically have more guns on them. But I'd say, yeah, might be worthwhile to wait for the additional troops to arrive. What do you guys reckon, then? So we don't have a particularly amazing commander here, so I'd like to have him replaced with a better commander, actually. Give him one of our best commanders. I think I'll wait for additional troops. I'm just thinking if we begin an attack now, we might actually be able to have that attack take place with this unit landing. So the 52nd, but then again, I don't think the 52nd are going to be in a great shape. They are going to be dropping in combat mode, though. Well, you're planned for Suva, so I'm going to have you planned for Comac. Ah, thanks, man. I really do appreciate that. No question silly. None of them are silly. Do they have supplies for bombardment? We are flying in supplies, so we do at least have some trickle of supplies coming in. Obviously, these guys are going to suffer for this, but we do have the base force over here and soon the air flotilla. So at least they should be able to deal with it in the short term. We are lacking supplies here. We do have the supplies here. It's just trying to get them unloaded. That's the issue here at the moment. I'm focused on the actual airfield here first and foremost. Yeah, make sure your commander has good inspiration. Yeah, that'd be nice. He has 58 inspiration, which is pretty decent. No, that's alright, dude. I know what you mean. I don't know. Do we go for a deliberate attack, perhaps? Maybe. I don't know how many supplies he has here at Comac. Probably better off waiting for the reinforcements, to be honest. Yeah. Though I think what I might go for is actually a bombardment here, just so I can get an idea of what the enemy's doing. If I have a sense of how strong this unit is, then at least I know what I can do about it. We'll go with bombardment, get an idea of how strong they are, and proceed from there, really, I'd say. Then again, is it what... No, I'm going to have them just stay on defense here. They do still have a little bit of disruption, so I'm going to have them just have another day of recovery. I don't think this unit should suffer as much, as at least we do have forces already here. And he's going to bring another bombardment, though, so from the light cruiser Kashima and the Osaka Maru. So I'm going to run reconnaissance over the base. Yeah, run a little bit more reconnaissance over Comac. And good timing there, Billy. Good timing. Not a huge amount of infantry, but still, it's additional. Obviously, we have this unit that's going to be moving out there shortly. Yeah, they're going to be there a couple days. It's some actual extra supply as well, so we're looking at probably three or so days until they arrive there, which is quite good. Get them there, be nice. We always do have the option of a heavy bombardment, but I don't think it's required. That's going to be really required down this way, I'd imagine. Now, I want to cover Noumea really from the Australian side. Isle of Pines, that's a cool name. So yeah, just patrol this little area here. Now, how long's the AV going to take to get there? So, three days, something like that. Not too long. 2 to 3 days. And what I'm concerned with is that troops in Noumea might be walked into Comac. I mean, he could do it. I mean, if he did it, that'd be fucking awesome for me. To be honest, I'd rather than be at Comac. I don't know. I feel like he might actually pull back from Comac. It depends, really. Depends really how he thinks his chances are. But the thing is, yeah, if he was to march from Noumea, he could do it. It'd take a little while, though. I don't know if it'd be worthwhile for him to do so. He could be doing it as we speak, but it's hard to say without the reconnaissance. Yeah, so we're going to have a little bit more reconnaissance over Comac. Try and build that up there. Okay. Fiji cover force moving in there. Okay, that's good, man. So, we'll actually have additional float plane coverage over this area, man. That's really good. So, we don't need to send the E13A1s over here as of yet. We can actually leave them over here for the time being. I'm going to put them on 70-30, actually. There we go. Get rid of some of that fatigue. Yeah, so they can continue to run reconnaissance around the Luganville area, which is obviously good. And do you have an idea where the Allies' main possible counterattack coming from? I mean, you have taken a lot here. Surely he has to be building up somewhere and attacking. Well, we did see the carrier raid over here at Talawar, but obviously it looks as if he's pulled back. Now, I mean, there's the option he heads back to Johnson, there's the option he heads back to Palmyra, there's the option that he actually heads possibly up over here to Wake, possibly up over here to Midway. I think it's... depends really on how he's feeling. I expect Midway is going to be more than likely attacked at some point. I don't know whether he's going to actually try and land troops over here. I mean, it'd be interesting if he bloody well tried it. Do have some pretty good troops over here. Of course, the 24th Infantry Regiment, a lot of the actual infantry isn't here, but at least we do have the actual guns and etc. And we are really, really prepared for this island. I mean, the 24th is, obviously. Fiji's completely unscouted. Well, it looks a little spooky. I mean, this is it. We are bringing reconnaissance to the area. Obviously, we do have the float planes over here. We have float planes over here at Funafuti as well. I'd ultimately love to get some float planes down here to survive, but obviously I need to get them there. I need to get some engineers there first. I'm going to be sending these troops here from Baker Island to take control of Vaitupu. And, yeah, ultimately, what we'll be able to do here then is potentially, I don't know, let's see. At least there's some elements of the 66th Naval Guard over here to protect this island. Not a huge amount, but enough. Yeah, what we'd like to do is once we can get some airfield set up in the area, I could actually have them flown in here. Or, I don't know, depends really. We're going to look to have Kidabutai refueled, and then once Kidabutai has completed her swath of destruction down here at Brisbane and Sydney, I mean, it might be that obviously we'll use our reconnaissance to identify really like, just whatever ships are. I think if we can find sizable amounts of ships, then we'll just have to go for a port attack, or just potentially go down the coastline, and just try to destroy everything we can, really. Any ship that we can find would be a good target, just knock it out of the water, really. But perhaps then they could come back over here to Fiji. We'll see. I think it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, we know his carriers are in this sort of area, which is good now. At least that gives us an idea of what we're dealing with. And speaking of which, I'm going to have these guys look to just chill out for the time being. And transferring any aircraft to Midway. Well, we do have one E-13A1 Jake over there at Midway, which should be ready tomorrow to begin running naval search again, which would be quite nice. I am looking to send an engineer unit down there to Midway. Obviously, once I have an engineer unit over at Midway, I can actually look at stationing a squadron there more permanently. The issue is with Midway, it's very far out there. I think we need to digest the conquest that we're going for at the moment, and then we could potentially look towards, like, Midway in the future. I would say Midway, Port Moresby, heavily defend Suva. He's transferred additional troops into Fiji and etc., various sorts of areas. The interesting thing is, though, it's obviously going to cost him. He's lost a good few ships around that area. Not huge amounts, but he's lost a few. He lost some men in the water. Don't know how many he's lost, but obviously we've lost some men in the water as well before. So it's not going to particularly stop him. It's going to hurt him, but it's not going to stop him. I don't know, I say he's reinforced the islands, but the thing is, it's like, well, with Fiji, there's no supplies being produced there, so the good news is we can actually starve him out. Okay, what I'm going to do over here then is have the Kai-43s just, I'm going to put them on, I'd say about 50-50. Or maybe 70-30, something of that nature. Probably 50-50 is going to be the best. Yeah, I mean, this is it. If he lands troops there, it's going to hurt him. But I don't imagine he's going to land troops, so I'm not particularly worried about that. He might do, but I don't think he'll do it. See, if I can get some engineers down there to Midway, even if it's just a couple of them, I can begin to fortify Midway, which would make it hard for him to take, then at least make it tougher for him to take. See, I think Midway is an important island. It's really going to be up and down there in terms of, like, strategic importance, but I think it is an important island. Because at the end of the day, it's like, if I can get a engineer unit here and float plane set up over there, then it does actually restrict him in a way, because obviously if we can detect what he's doing before he arrives, then that's going to be just exceptional. If I can just have the reconnaissance there, that's going to be really, really great. As there's no other islands around this area. So if he's moving up here, or up here, then at least we do have a chance to detect him. I'd like to potentially take Johnson Island one day, but I think Johnson Island might be an island too far. Palmyra could be potentially doable. Hello there, Christoph. How you doing, my friends? But for Palmyra or Johnson, we'd have to control this area, really. And even then, it could be quite pushing it.
as we are very close to midway. It might be better just to have this as the MLR, which is the main line of resistance, as obviously this is all nicely stacked together. But yeah, he'll probably raid midway. It shall suck, but it'll happen. Obviously, it'll give us an idea of where his actual carriers are then, and then obviously we can move the submarines around to counter that, really. It's like I've, yeah, what we're going to do here then, first and foremost, then, is, let's see. I need to get these H6K4s sorted out, ASAP. Right, 4 days. I need to assemble it into a full unit and then look at, well, split it into smaller units. Yeah, that close to Hawaii, you could easily find a big nutcracker. Well, this is it. So we don't want to be putting down large garrisons. Really, what I'd like to do is just deny him the island. I'd like to just take the islands if possible. I mean, this is it. It's a very, very pie-in-the-sky sort of thing when it comes to taking, like, Johnson Island or Palmyra. Well, Palmyra is a little bit, well, more doable. But Johnson Island is just, yeah, it's literally throwing like a firecracker into a hornet's nest, really. If I was to take Johnson Island, for example, all I'd do there is just place down a very small unit, maybe just something small, just something so I can actually have some reconnaissance there. But even potentially denying him the island could be worthwhile. Yeah, I mean, this is it. Maybe just take control of the island, leave a very small unit. It would ultimately be taken again, but obviously it would give us the reconnaissance there. It's hard to say, really. It's one of these things of when it's so out there at the moment, it's not really worth talking about as of yet. Yeah, I mean, this is it. We have to overextend to a degree, but I'm not looking towards leaving large garrisons anywhere. Other than the main Japanese bases, which we already have, but even then a large garrison is something of a nebulous term. But yeah, we're not looking at turning the Pacific into, like, barracks. We're looking at just establishing control of certain bases, and then really we're going to have to rely on the fact that we have control of the base and to project reconnaissance. It's all about being able to project reconnaissance, being able to project actual search capabilities and figure out where the enemy is. So the thing is, it's like, he's going to have infinite resources, granted, but he's not going to have the infinite resources right now. So he has to pick and choose his targets. But if we can actually gather the information ahead of time of where his forces are approaching, that does give me a lot of rope to work with, really, to actually tie around his neck there. Figuratively, not literally. I like the guy. Okay, they've been moved over there. Survive is going to become important. If I can actually get some engineers over here to survive, then we could really do a lot here. I think what I might do is have H6K2s... possibly transfer engineers over here, and then from there to there, do it like that. See, I'm not particularly keen on patrolling the waters around Fiji, around the island of Suva, to be honest. Well, Fiji itself, you know what I mean. So I don't think it's going to be particularly worthwhile. I'd like to have them elsewhere, but I think it's worthwhile just to have at least one submarine in this area. I think they could do more good elsewhere, but I'd say for now it's worthwhile doing. At least if there's actually something coming off of the island, we do have a chance to intercept it. Not as close, though, to the island. Something like that. Okay. So they're heading back. It's good. We're going to leave behind the patrol boats, then. Yeah, this is it. It's like it doesn't matter how many men you have, because obviously what we want to avoid here is we want to avoid, like, having loads and loads of men on an island and then him just bypassing it. Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the ethos I'm going for. Just capture everything, every base. Loss of the allies is one base for you, even if they have unlimited resources. If they are stuck in the east coast, they can't bomb your stuff properly. Yep. Well, this is it. It's like, even if I lose the island later, I don't particularly mind, because obviously I know where his forces are. If we can deny him access to bases out in the Pacific of where we're actually going to see
possible combat, that's good to work to our advantage. So it's been rather interesting, actually. I've been reading a little bit more of the Warplan Orange book, and it does seem like the initial deployments of the US carriers, it did seem like, I think it was from, is it Admiral McMorris? I can't remember exactly what his rank was, but McMorris anyhow. It did seem, well, originally he intended for the carrier, for a single carrier I believe it was, to actually move through the marshals, and then a week later move through the marshals again. It looked as if he was actually trying to set up some sort of, almost like a trap there around Wake and using Wake to identify to identify a combined fleet that would obviously be coming down this way, then have like a decisive battle around here in the early part of the war. Obviously, I'm not entirely sure about that one. Still reading about it, so still to make my mind up on that. Actually, I wondered if playing balanced scenario wouldn't be better. Both of you would be heavily fighting over small gains. No, it's more like early gains followed by US steamroll later. Yeah, more than likely. But it's all about buying ourselves time. We can't defeat the USA via invasion. We can't knock his government out. We can't do anything like that. So it's just all about trying to set ourselves up into a position where we can delay him, make him bleed for every, well, single island, really. It would be best to have small garrisons everywhere. Losing it won't matter, but it will tell you where the enemy is. Yeah, exactly. Like human radar. I need to go to the store. Thanks, bud, for your help, and I'll see you later. See you later there, Billy. Have a good one, my friend. Glad to have you on the stream. Okay. There's not a huge amount to do here. Yeah, they're patrolling up and down there. You're heading back to replenish. You're heading back to replenish as well. Yeah, we're not going to have coverage for long, really. So what I might do is actually have them around New Caledonia, to be fair. Well, then again, I'd say near Brisbane. Then again, you are pretty low on ammunition, but we do still have a little bit. Only counter to this light spam would be for the Americans to split their forces and do many simultaneous landings, yeah. Yeah, this is it. I mean, what we want to do here is, if we can buy, like, this is it. If I can have, let's say Funafuti over here, for example. Let's say that we have a, oh, I don't know, like 300 men at Funafuti? Or 100 men, 200 men, something like that. Just a couple men at Funafuti. Even if they last... not even 2 days. Not even if they last a day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever. Obviously, their time there is numbered. But the beauty is, obviously, Japanese forces are not very like to surrender, are they? So the amount of time they buy for us would allow us then to figure out what the enemy has there, to marshal resources to the area. And ultimately, it is, as stated earlier, like human radar, to be honest. I mean, that's a beauty there. I mean, like, there's far too many men on Midway. What I'm going to look to do, actually, is withdraw the regiment completely off the island, and then I'll just leave behind the 53rd Naval Guard. That is enough to hold the island. I want Midway to be quite tough. I'd love to eventually mine Midway as well, really make it tough for him. He's going to have to come for it eventually. He could potentially just bypass it completely, but if I can actually have it as a functioning float plane base, then that is going to be quite nice. Though, even then saying that, is it worth mining it? I don't think it's worthwhile mining either. Yeah, it might be just worthwhile just to put down a couple fortifications. Just get a small engineer unit, put down some fortifications, and just have it as an active float plane base, and then I suppose that's the most it'll be able to effectively do. It's one of these of, like, I could mine it, but the thing is, well, he's not really going to potentially land there anytime soon, I don't imagine. I mean, he could try to do it, but I mean, if he tries to land here at Midway, it's... I don't know if it's worthwhile. He could do it. If he has the troops, he could do it. It'll take some time. I just think it'd be one of those things where it's completely worthless, but he could do it. But if he did do it, it would actually give away quite a lot about his mentality there. Okay. Good, so more fuel is moving out. More fuel, more problems. Okay, so we're going to be running reconnaissance over here from Shortlands over Rabal, which is good news.
Now, I do have this destroyer over here. I'm going to have this return to truck, I'd say. Then again, I could have it actually link up with Kidabutai. You don't have a huge amount of AA. You're not particularly the best class of destroyer, so I'm actually going to keep it around this sort of area. It'd be nice to actually have some sort of defense, really. So I might just keep it over here, just to protect the AV for the time being. Obviously, then if we decide to move it elsewhere, we can move it. But at least it's something in the area. Just keep it on a normal threshold for the time being. So obviously I don't really have anything here in the centre. At least we could always use it as like some sort of escort midway along. I'm actually going to take another 2 destroyers here from this force, I reckon. So let's take a look. How many ships are in Kidabutai? 22 ships. I'm transferring over destroyers. So what I'm going to do here then is actually transfer over... Well, then again, is it worthwhile? I'm going to say no, actually. I'll keep them together. So obviously I'm going to need destroyers to actually escort other forces, and they do come in handy. How is it that you make midget submarines again? You could potentially use them to protect the islands. See, this is it. It's like they don't have much in the way of range. Midget submarines are basically... I think you have to have like a certain size port. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's like a certain size of port anyhow. Or like a certain size of something of that nature. Like I create midget subs over here, which do take supply. They're okay. Like, I'd love to actually get my submarines that can take midget submarines set up. But for the time being, I'm going to have to wait for that until the submarines actually return. The ones that actually can do so. But we'll look towards using midget submarines offensively again. I think they could actually do pretty good. At the end of the day, if I lose one of them, it's not particularly the biggest loss ever. If they take out an actual ship, that's worthwhile. Okay, so setting up over here, quite a lot. The good news is we do have the 51st AA Battalion now, which is good. Not the best, but at least it's something. Right, lots of fatigue here. I'm going to tell them to rest. Because that is a shitload of fatigue. The aircraft are thankfully in good shape, but the pilots themselves, they're kind of suffering. So we can have them rest here. There's a lot of fatigue there. Yeah, that's way too much fatigue. Have them rest. I think what I might do is eventually have the Ki-21s actually assigned over here to Miri. What's the size of the airfield over here? It's a size 2 airfield, so not too bad actually. Building up some fortifications here at the moment, which is alright. We actually do have a lot of engineers here, quite a lot of engineers. So... I'll begin expanding the airfield, actually. Expand this airfield. Is it worthwhile expanding it? I'll expand it to a size 3 then, possibly. Or is it worthwhile? What do we have here available? Not a huge amount. I'll expand it to a size 3. And then what we can do is eventually, once the Philippines is subdued, I could actually look at having Ki-21s moved over here. And then we could use them to subdue the airbase at Singkawang. Okay, now with these guys over here. Right, so you're moving back to... Well, you need to be moved. Megami's in here, Makuma. Yeah, you need to be moved over here. Pick up those forces. Patrol boats are limited in production. You cannot make them for resources whenever, like, midget subs. Patrol boats, as in patrol boats. We can convert them from, like, transports and to receive additional. If you mean, like, gunboats, I think they are created by supply as well, but similar sort of rules. I'd obviously have to check it out in the manual. Okay, so we are ready here to begin loading up troops. So what we're going to do here then is load up the 16th Regiment. Verify load. Set load. Okay, the 16th Regiment's going to be loaded up again. Right, just set your home base here as the for the time being. Check out Cebu, actually. Well, then again, I need to take Mindanao. We'll sort Cebu after. Okay, where's me? Hello there, Gerald. How you doing there, my friend? Right, so we can have these guys loaded back on board the fast transports. We're going to either look towards having them dropped over here or one of these other bases around here. The Singapore Express is going to be used to actually subdue these forces here, sink them before they obviously become an issue. The forces of Davao, one unit's going to be actually taking the base here at Davao, then the other one's going to be loading up already, so what we'll then do is look towards having the unit moved up around here, or obviously moving them around. I'm looking towards taking Mindanao within a week or two. Right now, if Kidabutai and the American crew carriers were to clash, you would win. But what at what point in the game does he get the advantage? Well, the thing is, he has the advantage in so much other than just straight-up numbers at the moment. It's like at the moment, we would win the battle because obviously, well, we'll take a look at our advantages. Our advantages are, in terms of aircraft, we do have the A6M2 which do have more range. We do have the B5N2 Kates that are actually usable torpedo bombers. The, well, was it the TBD-1 Devastators? They're not exactly great. Their range isn't amazing. He does have the SPD-3s and 2s. It's actually... well... and they are pretty damn dangerous. But the thing to bear in mind is obviously his AA is going to be far superior, his damage control is far superior. He has radar, and that is just such a big advantage he has. So the reason why we could win a battle against an American carrier force at the moment is due to the fact that we could actually outnumber him. Once the numbers do start changing, things are going to get difficult. It's going to come down to a lot of pilot experience and just trying to set things up properly. But his aircraft, his fighters are going to be better. Well, they're going to be more survivable, really. So it's one of these things of where it's the pilot experience that's making up for it at the time being. His gun value is actually higher as well. So it's one of these things of where if he gets his eyes on a zero, he's going to shoot it down if he gets a good shot there. So there's Salty Dodger. When will you get those big subs that can launch float planes? We already have those. Do you mean like the submarine carriers? I'm not entirely sure about those. If he makes one Grand Fleet, there's little to do about it. See, if he makes one Grand Fleet, we can deal with that. And that's going to be dealt with through lots of submarines, through lots of attrition attacks. And it's like we'd look towards having our aircraft attack at night and just doing everything like that. Really try to push the attrition onto him. But if he moves as one Grand Fleet, he's going to have to secure a base. If he doesn't secure a base, his time on station is going to be limited, and he could augment the time he has by having a logistics train, but if he has a logistics train, then that is vulnerable. So it's all going to come down to just having reconnaissance, 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 and just using attrition against him. Now, speaking of which... see, I might move a H6K4 Mavis unit down to Luganville if we have the AV for it. 24 plus 21 at the moment. Might be jumping the gun a little bit. We do still have elements of the 15th Base Force to be unloaded. But it's mostly just support here at the moment. I do have another aviation engineer unit over here though, thankfully. So that's going to be very welcome. I just need to get it off the boats. Okay, tell you to disband. Right, you're headed to Comac. Okay. If he split his forces into three or more fleets, then you could potentially beat them 1-to-1 with fleet late game. It's just all about setting up the situation to be in our favour. Just all about that. Okay. Yeah, they were. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, how long until these planes are available? We're looking at 5 days until the entire unit's available. I just need to get these H6K4s in the right position. And finally, we are able to transfer you out. Right. I want you at Babaldoab. Probably scrolled past it there by mistake. There we go. Have you go out there, link up with the rest of your units, and then we can begin to reform them again. Need you available. Oh, I don't actually have a E13A1 unit over here. Okay. Oh, right, I remember now. Yeah, they need to be transferred. Transfer them to Wake. There we go. Well, Russians attach mines to dogs to destroy tanks, so sounds plausible. Yeah, I feel like the I-800s or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. Right. What I'm going to do here then is... I'll leave one unit to patrol at night still. I could still leave the G3s to patrol. Gonna have these guys here rest of the time being. Though... Right. Let's not be sending them out anywhere crazy yet. Just have them rest here for the time being. Yeah, a good few days until they're ready. Need to just get them transferred back over here. What we need to do is just get a H6K4s like all assigned together. I could look at actually moving some H6K4s down here then. They'd be really handy. But again, I just need to actually have bases here. Okay. Right, what I'm going to do here then is one G4 is going to be run like the reconnaissance, the other is going to be resting completely. The one that's resting completely is going to be intended to be shifted down to the south end once it's available with an airfield. When do we think the American BBs to be back in action? To be honest, I'd imagine he's got somebody already now. And in all honesty, I'd be surprised if they weren't active somewhere. I mean, to be honest, he might look at actually using his battleships and maybe bombard Midway. That's like a potential. Hard to say, really. Okay. Now, since I do actually have quite a few H6Ks in this area, I think what I'm going to do here actually is... Right. I'm just going to have them transferred. Oh, no, I can't. Out of range, but it seems. Okay, transfer to Talawar for the time being. I'm going to have them transfer from Talawar further south then afterwards. To be honest, I could even have them potentially transferred over to Survive. I could get some engineers there. And what I'm looking towards doing is probably not over that way, but what I'm going to be looking towards doing is actually just pushing out an increasing number of like naval search planes out here into the Coral Sea area, just around here in general. I think the more reconnaissance we have, the better. American BBs are not a huge problem, since BBs are food for the aircraft. Well, this is it. I mean, it'd be interesting, because at the end of the day, those BBs do have a lot of AA. And obviously, if they do soak up damage that could potentially be sent to the carriers. They're dangerous. They are dangerous. They are, at the end of the day, the thing is, it's like the Japs had, 6 battleships as such, and like 4 battle cruisers, give or take. Obviously, we've lost one of our battle cruisers. Well, battle cruiser, battleship, you know what I mean? Fast battleship is pretty much just battle cruiser, but you know what I mean. So he does have more, like, actual ships of the line, I suppose you could say. Right. Good, you're ready to move out now, that's good news. What do you have in New Caledonia? Well, we've got Tatsuta, which is going to be joining the Fiji Cover Force. So, by New Caledonia, we do have the battleships Nagato and Mutsu, the heavy cruisers Aoba, Furataka, Kakao. Also, we'll have Yabali and Tatsuta, and then a couple of destroyers. We do have over here the light cruiser Kotori, the light cruiser Kishima, and Asaka Maru. Obviously, they're going to be moving out of this area. They're loading up troops, so they're going to be moving to Comac as well. So, to be honest, what I'm going to try to do is actually have them bunch up together, and then they can head back to Luganville. We've got 3 submarines over here at the moment. So we've got an okay force. Just going to try and pick something off over here if I can. I'm going to have them on low threat threshold. Well, normal threat threshold just in case. Yeah, fast glass cannons. I mean, this is it. This is why we need to have them, like, screened. I configured late game, the most problematic American fleet elements will probably be destroyers and cruisers if he makes fast raid fleets, yeah. Oh, this is it. The good news is, obviously, he has to have the endurance to do that. Okay. What I'm going to do then, since there's going to be full rest, is I'm going to take the Ki-21s. I'm going to have them attack over here at Wenchal. Try and just aid our forces over there. Have them run about 10,000 feet. That has some good range. Okay. So I could do with actually having some of these elements begin to move out towards Malaya. Transfer you to Saigon. I can imagine you can reach Saigon. Yep, transfer you to Saigon. And then what we can do is have them transferred into Kutabaru then, sometime after. Right. Just run combat air patrol over Kutabaru. 40... We'll go with about, yeah, about 40, 60. All training. Try and get the detection level up. Okay. So as we do have the first Sentai. Isn't here? Where the heck are the first Sentai again? You know, I bloody forgot where the first Sentai is now. Ah, Bangkok, that's it. Yep. So looking about a week before these guys are ready. That's a bloody big airfield over there. I'm gonna let them finish it. Actually, no, cancel that. I need the supplies elsewhere now. Okay.
See, the thing is, it's like, I was saving the A672 for Kiributai, but since Kiributai isn't going to be making a stop at truck anytime soon, what we're going to do then is, I think I'm finally going to release the reinforcements over here. What do you guys reckon? Is that alright? I'm thinking it might be worthwhile. We do have a good few of them, actually. I think what we might do here then is like fill these squadrons out again, have them mostly rest and just be ready, and then what we could actually do then is just sweep Singapore into the actual ground, to be honest. So the thing is, if we have like far more, I mean, if we have like 3 squadrons of like 30, 40 zeros sweeping each turn, he's not going to be able to fucking stop that. And then what we can do is just like pound Singapore again. But I think we just need to have the numbers. Obviously, it's going to give me a lot more flexibility then. Could really try to look at establishing air supremacy. So, yeah, 31 zeros here. Now draw 19. Hard decision, you know. I was thinking, is it worthwhile? So it's taken us a while to save up this many zeros, but then again, I suppose at the end of the day, we're going to try and avoid Kiributai being in any sort of situation where it's going to have to rely on its zeros, really. And they would be useful down here. We've been suffering down here. Yeah. I'll release the zeros. Let's see. They can't be upgraded here. Okay, so that's going to take us to 101 zeros, and that's a lot of zeros. We'll give them time to rest. Also going to need the good pilots out here as well. We're going to have a lot of inexperienced pilots, well, fairly inexperienced pilots, so they're going to be okay, not exactly great, but yeah, so we're going to be looking at, what, maybe a week? Actually, not even that long. 2 days. Give them some time to work up. Yeah, that's fine by me. I think this is it. I think we need to stop playing around here in Malaya. We need to actually use the aircraft. And obviously I've had a few mistakes, haven't I? Like the first bloody day when I lost 50 zeros. God damn, that really hurt. I don't think I'd realised how much it hurt at that time, but yeah, that hurt. But we can recover. We'll use our zeros. We'll have them made available here, and then what we can do is just completely control the skies over the Malaya. And this is it. Obviously then, if we can have like a pretty damn large fighter cover screen, that'll allow us to do lots of different things. Okay.
How are we doing over here at Pakoi? Pakoi, moving on towards it. Gonna have them plan for Pakoi, actually. Yeah, we've got combat air patrol. Ah, see, this is it. It's like I had them set to strafe on day one at Pearl Harbor, and it turns out the AA was monstrously effective, which is actually rather surprising, and it's one of those things where, okay, wish I could have gone back and changed that, but hey-ho, we've had to live with that. This is what I'm saying. I'm not a great player. Oh dear. We made mistakes. Yeah. But hey, live and learn. They were too low in altitude. I think it's because I had them like really on the ground, and I think that was the issue there. Learned a lot since then. Yeah, it was a rather surprising result to lose that many. Ugh. I could do again these units moved out of here, actually. Nothing but tankers. Do have an oiler over here, though. My loading supply on there. Oh, it's fuel, okay. Okay, so let's take a look at the rest of them. So these guys are now ready, which is fantastic. Yeah, looking forward to using them. So looking at 4 days, give or take. Something around that sort of time. So I don't know why it shows you percentage there sometimes. I find it a little bit strange, but not long anyhow. Yeah, no, we're not gonna have them like moving out anytime soon. Right, not bad. These units are going to be welcomed at Saipan, Truck, and Bardois. AMC's moving out towards Midway. No float plane there, which is worrying. And that's a really good AMC as well. I do need to be careful with that. I'm going to have you transferred over towards San Francisco, actually. Put some rest in here. Yeah, they are very close to the coast there, but it seems they are undetected. As it doesn't look as if it's actually running detection on the coastline here, which is interesting. So I'm just trying to take advantage of that. Obviously, he's not got much leave in here. I just want to be in a position where the one day he actually does dispatch something from the coastline, we can actually fucking nail it, which would be great. Oh, that would be freaking awesome. Okay, the submarines are armed with mines. Yep, they're on their way back to Saigon. Hmm. I'm gonna load the Yokosuka. There's not many men here. Barely any of them. Interesting, okay. Well, what I want to do here then is I want to have them go by fast transport down to Kwantan. The H6K is like a pilot. Which one? Over here? Yeah, it's the issue is sometimes we can't actually get them in there. There you go. Well spotted. Okay. So we're looking at a day or two before we arrive in Kukong. Yeah, so bomb's going to hit over here at Wenchao. Okay, then we're in escort. Right, naval construction. 56th Division. Looking forward to when that unit arrives. Okay. These guys are going to be handy. So the Fiji cover force is moving to Comac to give the cover. They're going to be moving to Bellap Island though. Or am I? Nah. Though, to be fair, to get to Comac, as far as I can understand, he has to go through Bellap Island and down anyway with the coral here. So yeah, we'll have them at Bellap Island. They've got one hex, like... Fuck, what they call it again? One hex of... reaction, there we go, one reaction. So they would react anyway. But yeah, if we could be in position there to potentially block any access to Comac, that'd be great. Looking forward to it. Normal threat threshold. A little bit of patrolling as well. That'd be nice. Reconnaissance is going to be out there. So yeah, we'll actually have a decent bit of a reconnaissance around New Caledonia next turn. We've got reconnaissance over by Luganville now. We're going to be looking towards actually up in that. And Kinabutai is going to be refueled. These oils are coming down. We've got another oil coming down shortly. These submarines are heading back home to... refuel. Yeah, it's heading out. You're taking some engineers over there. Fantastic. And this independent engineer regiment would be real nice. I could actually have that sent alongside the 56th Division, to be honest. As that'd be very, very good. We're heading to pick up the Chichijima Special Players Force. Kiso is heading there to Niwatok. Yeah. You're heading for there. I need escorts over this way. Waiting for these aircraft to become available, to be honest. So we'll be waiting a couple of days for that. Be worthwhile when they are ready. So I'm going to do in the meantime is just tell them to train.
Initially, I was thinking about having them move down and then refuel, but what I've got set up is for the oilers, because we have like 2 oilers over here. So the 2 oilers are going to refuel Kidabutai. They're set to follow Kidabutai and refuel it, but I'm going to have Kidabutai move over here to Tulagi, so they're definitely within range. And I'd rather it done by Tulagi. If they can well, then again, I'd rather them refuel this turn if they can do while they're underway. So there's going to be a little bit of underway replenishment of Kidabutai, but I'd like Kidabutai to and the turn into Tulagi. Then from Tulagi, what we'll look to do then is actually we'll probably head down towards like Comac area, something like that, then down this way. So the good news about that is if there is some sort of reprisal from DHG, but it's on its way to New Caledonia, then wow, it's going to be in for a bad time. But at the end of the day, we might be able to use Kidabutai then to assist with the operations down there. Perhaps it might be worthwhile to use them to... I don't know, it depends really. It depends on the sort of time frame. Like, let's see. The regiment needs to be unloaded. I'll take a look at that in just a moment there, Anna. Yep, so the regiment needs to be unloaded. They do have some disruption, but no fatigue, thankfully. Have them get planning for Numea. Good news is at least I do have some extra artillery here, which is nice. 81mm mortars there, not bad. We do have additional artillery assets coming. We have a few assets on their way, really, here. So, maybe by the time Kidabutai is in this area, we might be... or potentially once Kidabutai is actually... I don't know, depends really on the time frame. Depends really how long it's going to take for us to unload. But we might be ready to invade New Caledonia, potentially... well, Numea within a week, give or take. Something in that sort of region, so it might be that we wait while Kidabutai has finished her raid down that way. I don't think I would go close to New Caledonia. If you reveal your carriers early, then you strike at the Australian coast will be less effective, potentially so. And this is it, we'll see how things turn out. We'll see how things turn out. I mean, obviously we're going to be having additional float plane assets at the New Caledonia and Lucanville area. So, what I'm kind of thinking is maybe hedge the bets and head towards Comac. Initially, as obviously that's going to be a short route with at least the advantage of being able to cover our forces from a distance. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. If I detect a force heading towards New Caledonia, I'll have Kidabutai steam there to intercept it. If not, we'll have them head initially towards New Caledonia and then outwards towards Australia through the Coral Sea, obviously through the least detectable path, if we can manage that. But yeah, would be quite nice to actually pick up on forces around here. And as far as he's concerned, he doesn't know where Kidabutai is anymore, so it's going to be rather intriguing if we could actually continue that. The good news is, by lose control of the Solomon Islands, Guadalcanal, and obviously Espirito Santo, he's not going to have a huge amount of reconnaissance in this actual area over here, so that's going to work to our advantage. I'd imagine he'll probably have a couple aircraft down here at Australia, but I don't imagine he'll have anything enough to really threaten Kidabutai. And I think we're just going to maraud along the Australian coast there. It'd be nice to head over here to Auckland as well, but I think Auckland's a little bit too far out. The thing is, if I head too far out, it's going to be awkward. Because at the end of the day, it does mean that he might choose to raid somewhere. He'll probably look towards doing that. But we're just going to be basically ready. The G3s are still on night attack over here, so if he does come a knock in, then at least we are still set up and ready. And what's there? Fatigue light. Actually, fatigue's fine. No, that's a G4s. 2 fatigue, not bad. Yeah. You know what, buggered it. I know I said I'd have them put together, but to be honest, it's going to help Roy Namur. And I could do with some additional long-range detection down there, so I'm going to have them transferred down to Luganville. There's only 2 of them, so they're not going to be that effective, but at the end of the day, just having them on station would be really nice. Yeah, just have them run. I'll just have it run at like 60, well 50-50 at the moment. Just for the time being, just run some naval search in this area. Because just having that sort of ability to run naval search out further would be really nice. I think that'd be nice. Yeah. Okay. So, I'd say with that, things are moving. The 56 has been dispatched. We've sorted out the elements over here in Malaya. We're going to be supporting the ground forces here. The ground forces are moving. China, we've decided our movements. We've decided on movements over here in the Philippines. We're going to have additional engineers and etc. over here, but we're going to be resting. Units going to be resting. We have supplies, that's good. Transport planes are moving. The parachutists, the paratroopers are moving. We've got assets moving over here. We've got patrol boats moving into different areas over here, so we have set up for that. That's good, that's good. Headquarters is moving. We've got them planned. We've got the units planned over here where they're going to be moving. Waiting for these units over here. Supplies heading back down the Yangtze River. Obviously, we'll be having that loaded back up supply afterwards. I could probably do have another supply run running into the central China at some point in the future, but we're alright for now. Submarines are planned over here. We've got a submarine headed over here to Midway to actually address the fact that we don't have anything at Midway. I do have a submarine over here at Wake. It might be... yeah. Well, it's over here at Wake, so what I'm going to do here then is actually have it patrol just a little bit further out from Wake, about maybe there. Well, then again. About there initially. Just patrol around this area. What I need to do is just have like submarines around these areas. And then at least they'll be in a position to respond. But we do have the E13A1 Jakes over here, so they could be running their naval search. So yeah, we're going to be looking to try and pick up just whatever we can. And that's... yeah... 10 here. If we can get these operational, that'd be great. His carriers, I'd imagine they're probably maybe around here somewhere. Somewhere like around this sort of arc. Something like that. Hard to say. I think it's probably having them go back home to refuel, etc. But we'll see what we can do. Yep, landing here. These forces are going to be picked up next turn as their forces are, well, the transports are heading there to pick them back up. Okay. Good thing is we've got the base. I'm going to tell them to actually rest this turn. And there we go. Okay. So, I'd say with that, we are effectively done for the turn. Probably missed something, but we'll be okay, I reckon. Yeah. The main things are moving, which is what matters. Yeah, I'd say we're about done there for the turn, so I'd like to say thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I do hope you have indeed enjoyed this. And if you have enjoyed this, there are multiple ways now to support myself and the channel. Obviously, this is completely up to you guys if you'd like to do this. But, yeah, there is now options available. There is the Patreon option, there's a PayPal option, there is the Super Chat option. And I'm trying to get these rolled out. I'm just taking pre-orders at the moment. But I am taking pre-orders for these prints available. So I'm looking to have, I think the A2 is available for £30, and the A2 is available for £25, including post and packaging, and the A1's available for £30, including post and packaging. Of course, this is not a get rich quick scheme. It's mainly there so if you guys do wish to support me, but you receive something in return, then that option is available. What name shall we give this turn? That is a good question. What to do? Let's just quickly save this here just in case. I'll go with that one. Shocking activities lately, huh? That works for me. I like that one. I was to reference the shock attack at Clark. There we go. So, yep, I'm happy with that. I hope you guys are as well. And looking forward to moving into turn 33 then, hopefully sometime this week. Until next time, thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. It has been a pretty awesome experience. And the good news is I actually do have some time off this week, so hopefully try and get a little bit more done this week as well. Perhaps taking a look at some different games. Hello there, Keith. Just in time to see the end of the stream there, my friend. It's just been done here, so thank you so very much for watching. You'll have to catch the start of the stream again. So until next time, guys, thank you, and adios. Keep those barrels firing, I suppose. We'll go for some sort of cringy outro. Until next time, goodbye for now.